What's going on, everybody? This is your host Sasuke, and today we're going to be talking about one of the newest raiders to step foot on the Broken Planet, Rak+Mayura. Rak+Mayura? Rak+Mayura. I'm going with Rak. One of the most well-known and respected colonists on Mars, having saved countless lives with his astute observational skills and adaptability, Rak served as one of the first prospects to colonize the Red Planet. During his time there, he developed a keen eye for alien wildlife and their various functions. His unwavering bravery in the face of hostile living conditions and the respect for the planet's ecosystem led him to become well-versed in various alien ecology, and even how to exploit it. Rak yields unnatural tracking skills, intense focus, and a deep understanding of the Broken Planet's geological variables, making him a fine addition to Herrick's crew. And as a raider, he brings one of the most interesting and mixed bag of skills.
Now every heifer, every cow, hold tight to your udders now. Farmer Brown is bedding down, let's turn this barn to funky town.
During his travels, Rak managed to tame a pack of adorable little critters known as Pisachas. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Native to Mars, however, outside their planet's very specific atmospheric conditions, these Pisachas explode within a matter of seconds. Rak's able to make good use of their specific traits though by sicking them on highlighted targets in-game, and this is where things get interesting. Rak can identify any high-stress targets through walls. Any enemy seen with a purple outline is immediately primed for the Pisacha party. When activated, Rak's little buddies scurry excitedly towards the marked target, granting a huge movement speed buff to anyone in their way. And if that wasn't enough, on top of that, when the Pisachas reach their target, they explode into a rejuvenating mist, which can grant healing or overheal to anyone inside the 4-meter radius. This dash can also be used creatively to speed up any objectives that require slow-moving targets, like carrying Loth's volatile brew or Schneider's limp body, and it can really decrease the match's time significantly. Rak can also rush to downed elites with deadly efficiency, making all of gathering objectives completely different. Because of his movement speed, healing abilities, and not to mention the burst damage that the Pisachas do on impact, Rak's potential to save teammates in dire straits is currently unmatched. If your Rak teammate isn't coming to your aid and kicking the asses of every ad around you, they ain't playing Rak right.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Now, I only had access to Rak's first weapon at this time, the Shepherd, which works as a single-fire scatter rifle with a pretty steep bullet drop. It takes some getting used to with its constant reloading and bullet arc, but with time and practice, you'll learn to appreciate it. It serves more as an opener to Rak's combination. I personally like to sick the critters on the targets, launch a volley from the Shepherd, and then rush in for the KO. With the combined damage of the Pisachas, ricocheting bullets, and my mitts, fights typically come to a close rather quickly. As a member of the Umbra War Dog faction, Rak's passive healing while on the move and overall mobility make it an absolute blast to sprint around the map, saving just as many lives as you're taking. The card setup I personally use includes Battering Ram for the faction card, and Corrosive Metabolism or Ferocity Cloud for the character card. Battering Ram increases your strike damage by 50% while sprinting, and ultimately maxing out at 200% damage with a 5 olive stack. Most of your encounters will involve you rushing in hot and fast to save a teammate, so this extra initial damage helps out with that combination I mentioned earlier in the video. Hypermetabolism reduces the amount of time before your critters can be used again, starting initially at 30% and then rounding out to about 120% with 5 stacks, which means more healing more often. That's the power of the Home Depot. But on the other hand, if you want to give your teammates the chance to dish out increased damage for themselves, you can use that as well. Ferocity Cloud, which increases the damage of affected teammates by 80% initially, rounds out at 200% after the 5 stack. This can often throw off an antagonist who's coming in for the kill and suddenly feels a crazy amount of damage coming their way. Which leads me to the final topic. Now, as a raider, Rak is a powerhouse, capable of identifying and eliminating targets without having to take a step out of cover sometimes. This applies to his encounters with the antagonist as well. Any high-stress antagonist can be ID'd and hunted down with a simple button press. So if you're playing antagonist, either stay off the ground once you hear the critter's unique little giggle, or pick a raider with a low stress meter. As an antagonist himself, Rak has great potential, able to force raiders to spread out, run in for executions while his minions attack the other raiders, and not to mention the ads he has at his back. The only negative I can see about him is his high stress on account of the War Dog affiliation, but I can see his use as being very situational if you're picking him for antagonist. Especially if you're standing off against a good Herrick, it might not be the best choice, but I can see him being a pretty good all-rounder. Rak is an absolute blast to play, and had me grinning from ear to ear when I was learning about all his different unique abilities, not to mention his emotes. His healing is crucial to the team and can change the tide of a fight entirely if used effectively, and his cards complement his style well, offering a number of different ways to approach playing the character. While his first weapon might not sit well with everyone, his second and third gun might be more approachable, and I'll try to do more about those in the future. His high stress might make him a more obvious target, but skilled players that are able to access the ability and get familiar with it, as well as their familiarity with CQC, should end up making him a good choice. That's all for me and what I have to say about Rak+Mayura. I think he's a great character and a great addition to the Raiders. And for all of you guys, I'll see you on the Broken Planet.
Yo, who want it? Knuckles clenched, blood drenched kid. Yo, who want it? Come stepping hungry, get fed. Yo, who want it? Hearing all the challenges called through the battles and brawl. I stand and they fall as a hand on the yo, who want it? Knuckles clenched, blood drenched kid. Yo, who want it? Come stepping hungry, get fed. Yo, who want it? Hearing all the challenges called through the battles and brawl. I stand and they fall as a hand on the yo. My haymaker, slave player, shake haters greater than a golden state. Quake or break the golden gate. Leave them in a swollen state. Holding weight that motivates the fake to go escape before I break and straight unload my hate until they face. Hold it, wait. Everything you own, I take. Editing my enemies, no weaponry will slow my pace. Generous with genocide and those who standing in my way.